Hey everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. So today we're going to be doing a video, and this applies for 99 through 2004 Jeep Grand Cherokees. We're going to be doing the heater box conversion from dual climate control to single zone. This is a pretty popular fix because it's such a problematic thing in these Jeeps. The doors, the pins, all those things end up breaking. So this is a pretty good fix to do because basically it cuts out a lot of moving parts and it just simplifies the system. And once you upgrade to these aluminum doors, you should not ever have to do this fix again. Let me show you real quick. So I bought this on Amazon, and just to clarify, my Jeep currently has the dual temp control, and we're going to be switching to the single zone climate control. So in here, we have the beautiful door made out of aluminum. We got our pin. And I'm going to be showing you guys up close and personal what all of the components in the box look like. You can do this with the dash in or the dash out. I chose to do it with the dash out because I didn't want to cut through anything. This piece is removable, obviously, as you can see it bolts in the heater box. It goes right there. Usually this is where you would cut out. I'm not exactly sure, but I think it's somewhere around here because this is where the box and the doors sit. So you would end up cutting that out. So that's where that sits. Here's this. So basically how this goes is this pin stays there. It stays in the assembly here. And once you cut it, that piece back here is just free floating. So you'll probably still have the actuator in place since you can't get to it and remove it if you have the box in. If you have the box out, what you can do is just remove the actuator and leave it out. So that way you don't have to deal with it or hear it or anything. So yeah, let me get this set up and I will show you how to get this done. So first, I'm going to get this door assembly set up. The first thing I noticed is this aluminum pin is a little bit too big to fit in this hole. So what I'm going to do is take this round file and just lightly bore it out. And, I'll just keep trying here until it goes in a bit easier. And then once it does, what I'll do is I'll put some grease on so that way it moves a lot easier. Because right now, if I were to just shove that pin in, there would be so much pressure on it, it wouldn't work properly. And after a few easy passes, it went right in. It does fit a little snug, but it's perfect. So you see that? Make sure that pin is between the two stops. You got one stop and two stop right there. And that's how that operates. Those pins stop that right there. Boom and boom. Next step, I'm just going to put some white lithium grease right here on that hinge. And then just some back here for the heck of it. Alright, now we're ready to install the assembly. So here's where the assembly sits in the middle of the heater box. Goes in just like that. Sits nice and firm. On the inside you have this piece of foam tape that kind of seals the crack. And I am going to use the aluminum tape still just to go around some of the cracks on the inside because I want this thing to be as sealed as possible. So there's that. I'm going to get it all bolted up and then we'll move on to the next step. Now that our blend door assembly is secured by two screws, 1 and 2, we can go ahead and set the AC evaporator in. So it just sits down there nicely, just like that. And you'll know it's all set once it sits in these two grooves here. While we're in here, I'll go ahead and show you this door. You don't see any replacements for these, and you don't ever hear about anyone talking about replacing these. I'm not 100% sure why. It looks fine. Maybe it's because of this setup, because this one's probably, it's on a guided thing, so it doesn't have as much pressure as these do. So maybe that's why, but there's that one. And then on the top of the box, there's that one, which you never see replacements for that one either. So hopefully they never break, but they look fine. I checked them out and everything. So now in this step, we're going to put the top of the box back on. And now we're going to be getting this top back on. So make sure this door is kind of folded up, and make sure this one is kind of tilted in just a little bit. And then just carefully and slowly find all the pins. There's a couple alignment pins on this side, and it should, for the most part, go on nice and easy. There we go. Now just go around, make sure every alignment pin is nice and adjusted and shut together. Alright, next you need to tighten up the 10 Phillips screws holding the case together. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So go ahead and secure all 10 of those. Next you have these clips that hold the case together also, just for extra security. There should be 4 of them. I found one there next to the pin, and then one there and one there. Clips on just like that. There's also one here on the corner that I missed. Next, let's get this heater core in. It's going to go in this slot right here. That gets tightened there. This one gets tightened to go here. So go ahead and get all those tightened down. And that's what it's supposed to look like when it's all tightened up. So next, let's go ahead and get on these firewall foam grommets. Basically, they fill in the gap when you put this on the firewall. This one here. So that one was a little hard to get off, but you get the drift. Just put it back on to how it was. And then next, we should probably get the blower motor in and the resistor. So for the blower motor, I'm using an 8, and there's only 3 screws. 1, 2, 3, and the blower motor only goes in one way. You can see that different groove right here, and then the other two are triangular, so those only go on one way. Next, let's get the resistor in. And the resistor is just 2 Phillips screws. Boom, boom, and it only goes in one way. So that should be pretty easy to do for you. So next, we're gonna start installing these motors on the doors. Now, the problem might be if you have a new motor, the actuator may not be pointed the way you want, and I want mine to rest with this sitting all the way down. So what I did was I took 2 pairs of leads, and then I used a 9-volt battery to turn it into the position I wanted, and then now it rests with the doors completely shut, so that way it's not sitting open. So if you need to do that, that'll be a really helpful way to get it in the position you want. And then all you need to do to secure this one is 2 bolts, and then plug it right in and you'll be golden. And then we'll move on to the rear one. All right, now onto the one by the heater core. It goes just like that. You'll see. Okay, and that cord does go like that. So go ahead and get 2 bolts in right there. All right, now we're good with that one. All right, next we're gonna get this assembly hooked up. I took a bunch of pictures beforehand because there's no way I could remember how to put that back together. So this one I would highly suggest putting white lithium grease on all the tracks, on all the pins. So go ahead and do that. And then let me get this set up and we'll start installing. All right, so we're gonna work on this end piece here, this motor. Now, this is a little tricky, but I have the box on its side here, as you can see. And I have a picture of how it was before. So go ahead and hit pause if you need to look at that. This piece was down here. This needs to come out. This was like that. And then that middle piece needs to pop in. And you'll just firmly press it. And she should go right on as long as everything's lined up properly. Yeah, it is a little difficult, but it'll take a few tries. There you go. So that looks right. And now get our middle holder on there. Because I'll tell you what, taking this box apart takes some real critical thinking. So there, you got your 2 doors. Now that operates this door in here, and then the other door. I believe that's for the front blower control, and then the defrost. Correct me if I'm wrong. Now the next step in installing it is putting this on, because this piece correlates with this. And you only have 4 bolts. So go ahead and just put that on. And then you got 4 Phillips that holds in each corner of this box. Alright, so take note of how I have these levers set, and also take note that 2 of these holes here are guides. So that's a guide and that's a guide. So you'll take it and set it just like that, and just make sure that the pins here are in the slides. It's super easy once you get it lined up. And then just go ahead and take 1 bolt and secure it. And then you're golden. You can get the rest in. And by the way, the bolts that secure this motor are bigger than the rest of the bolts. So you'll have 4 or 3 that are bigger sized, and they go in these holes here for this motor. And quick tip, I will go ahead and check all these bolts here, every single one of them. Make sure they're all good, because you don't want to have anything loose here. And when you're done with that, we'll move on to the next step. And the next step is testing it. That's how it works there. Pretty cool, huh? Also, when doing this job, don't forget to replace your foam seals. That's going to make sure your AC is nice and secured, and make sure it blows nice and hard like you want it to. I use this stuff here. Seems to work pretty well. It's nice and thick. On one spot, I did a double layer because I wanted it to be thicker. But hey, you know, whatever works for you. So, just a quick suggestion. Next, we have the recirculation door. I did another video on how to replace this and install it and whatnot, but it's pretty self-explanatory. 2 screws for the motor. The door is 2 pieces. You slide it in, put your new aluminum axle on there, and you're good to go. This one just snaps in, so as you can see, you've got 2 pieces that snap in there, and then you got 2 bolts that pop on there. So go ahead and get those secured. And just like that, she's in there. And your harness connector is right there. The next step is going to be this big behemoth here. Go ahead and place it on there. You have 1 bolt there, 1 bolt there, and then 1 bolt there. And that should be it for the box. Just go ahead and double check all your bolts. Make sure everything's good, because taking this apart is a lot of work. So make sure you get it all together and tight. And then I'm going to do the whole installation process. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching my HVAC box complete installation guide. If you want to see the part where I install it in the actual vehicle, go ahead and check my next video. I don't want to make these videos too long, so I am going to split them up so it's easier to find stuff. But hey, thanks for watching. I really hope this helped you out. I enjoyed making this video, and I hope you enjoyed watching it. Thanks.